You are now watching 1111, The Jesus Miracles, now a place where miracles happen through faith. Get ready for inspiring stories, heavenly guidance, and the power of Jesus Christ. Like, subscribe, and be blessed today. My child, be still for a moment and listen with more than your ears. Listen with your spirit. Listen with a part of you that has been tired, overlooked, wounded, and waiting for a sign that your life is not random, that your pain has not been meaningless, and that your future is not buried beneath your present struggle. Because this message is not only about a man, not only about a broadcast, not only about a public moment, and not only about what was spoken on a screen before the eyes of the world. This is about attention. This is about awakening. This is about the fact that what has been ignored in you cannot remain hidden forever. You have spent too long believing that because people overlooked you, your value must be small. You have spent too long measuring your worth by the silence of others. You have spent too long assuming that because your season has been quiet, heaven must have stopped speaking. But I tell you now, the silence did not cancel your purpose. The delay did not erase your assignment. The hidden season did not mean you were forgotten. I was shaping you where others could not see. I was preparing you in places applause could not reach. I was building substance in you while the world was obsessed with surface. And when you hear the phrase that someone influential has spoken about you, you must understand the deeper meaning behind it. Do not get trapped in the flesh and only focus on names, platforms, and human recognition. The real message is bigger. The real meaning is that the kind of person you are becoming can no longer remain buried under fear, insecurity, hesitation, and the memory of rejection. The world often notices people only after they have survived what almost destroyed them. The world often sees the light only after it has already been burning in secret. The world often celebrates what heaven has been cultivating for years in private. So this is not merely about being mentioned. This is about being summoned. This is not merely about being seen. This is about being called out of hiding. This is not merely about public attention. This is about divine interruption. My child, for too long you have asked me, Lord, do you really see me? Do you really have a plan for me? Have I missed my season? Did I wait too long? Am I too broken, too late, too damaged, too insignificant for anything great to come from my life? And I answer you with power. I see you more clearly than you see yourself. I know the version of you that smiles while hurting. I know the version of you that speaks faith while privately battling exhaustion. I know the prayers you prayed with tears in your eyes. I know the disappointments you never fully explained to anyone. I know the dreams you buried because life became too heavy. I know the calling you keep trying to minimize because you are afraid of hoping for too much. But I did not make you for smallness. I did not create you merely to survive disappointment after disappointment. I did not breathe life into you so you could spend your years bowing to fear, replaying rejection, and shrinking your spirit to fit environments that were never large enough to hold your destiny. You must understand that the meaning of this message is not celebrity. It is confirmation. It is the reminder that your life is not meant to stay invisible. It is the reminder that what I have placed in you will eventually demand expression. It is the reminder that your gifts, your ideas, your endurance, your perspective, your resilience, and your voice are not accidents. They are instruments. They are seeds. They are assignments. And many times you have confused preparation with punishment. You thought the hidden season meant I had passed you over. But hidden seasons are often holy seasons. Private seasons are often forming seasons. Seasons of obscurity are often the places where pride is stripped, motives are tested, wounds are exposed, and character is strengthened. If I had elevated you too early, your soul might not have survived what your hands were asking to hold. If I had placed you on a public stage before healing your private fractures, then visibility could have amplified your pain instead of your purpose. My child, hear this clearly. I am calling you to wake up from the sleep of self-doubt. I am calling you to rise from the paralysis of comparison. I am calling you out of the prison of asking human beings for permission to become who I already called you to be. You have wasted enough years waiting for perfect conditions. You have spent enough time thinking you needed more approval, more confidence, more resources, more guarantees, more signs, more support, and more certainty before you could move. But I tell you now, the requirement was never perfection. The requirement was obedience. The requirement was willingness. The requirement was trust. You do not need to know every step to take the next one. You do not need the whole map to begin moving. You do not need every voice to agree before you answer the call. If you wait until fear disappears, you may never begin. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement that many people around you never understood. They saw your face, but they did not see the war in your mind. They heard your words, but they did not hear the heavy questions in your soul. They did not know how often you wrestled with feeling behind, feeling unqualified, feeling forgotten, feeling too ordinary to matter. They did not know how many times you looked at others and wondered why their doors seemed to open while yours remained shut. They did not know how many nights you questioned whether your efforts meant anything at all. But I was there in every moment of your uncertainty. I was there when you cried in silence. I was there when you kept going with no energy left. I was there when your heart was breaking and you still managed to lift your eyes toward me. And I tell you now, nothing you suffered was wasted. Nothing you endured was unseen. Nothing you survived was without meaning. Even the parts you call broken, I know how to turn into strength. Even the parts you call shame, I know how to turn into testimony. Even the parts you call delay, I know how to turn into timing. Do not ignore what was said, because the spiritual meaning is that your time of underestimating yourself must come to an end. For too long, you have spoken over your own life as if defeat were your identity. You have called yourself unready when I was actually refining you. You have called yourself too late when I was still aligning your path. You have called yourself weak when I saw endurance in you. You have called yourself small because you judge yourself by your current environment. But I never measure your future by your surroundings. I measure by what I put inside you. I measure by what I ordained before you were born. I measure by the assignment attached to your existence. The room you are in may not recognize you, but that does not reduce your worth. The people around you may misunderstand you, but that does not cancel your calling. Your current limitations may be real, but they are not final. My child, what if the reason this kind of message unsettles you is because something inside you knows there is more? What if the stirring you feel is not confusion, but awakening? What if the discomfort is not danger, but transition? What if the tension in your spirit is coming from the collision between who you have been and who you are being called to become? Many times, when I begin to move you toward the next chapter, I disturb your comfort first. I make the old place feel too small. I make old patterns feel too empty. I make compromise feel too heavy. I make delay feel intolerable. Why? Because you cannot step fully into the new while still making peace with what no longer fits your destiny. There are versions of you that must die so the true calling can breathe. There are habits that must break. There are lies that must lose power. There are voices you must stop listening to. There are places where you have settled that I never called home. And yes, there will be people who do not understand your shift. Some were comfortable with the version of you that doubted yourself. Some preferred the version of you that asked for constant reassurance. Some liked you most when you were unsure, apologetic, and easy to control. But when you begin to stand in clarity, when you begin to speak with conviction, when you begin to act like someone who knows that heaven has touched their life, not everyone will celebrate. Do not let that disturb you. Growth reveals relationships. Purpose exposes motives. Transition clarifies who was committed to your comfort and who was committed to your becoming. Some people only supported your smaller self because your smallness made them feel safe. But I am not calling you to remain digestible to people who fear your expansion. I am calling you to become whole. This message also carries a warning. Do not confuse attention with assignment. Human recognition is not the goal. Fame is not the goal. Public mention is not the goal. The goal is alignment with me. The goal is obedience. The goal is becoming the kind of person who can carry influence without worshiping it, carry visibility without being ruled by ego, carry opportunity without losing humility, and carry success without forgetting the God who sustained you in secret. If I open doors for you, those doors are not merely for your image. If I increase your influence, it is not merely to satisfy your insecurity. If I elevate your voice, it is because there is something I want released through you. Before you ask for platforms, ask for wisdom. Before you ask for speed, ask for stability. Before you ask for recognition, ask for character. Because what I build in you privately is what will hold you publicly. My child, I am also speaking to the part of you that has been wounded by delay. You have watched others move ahead. You have watched others launch, create, build, rise, and receive opportunities you secretly hoped would come to you. And if you are honest, comparison has exhausted you. It has stolen your peace, weakened your gratitude, and made you question your own value. But listen to me now. Their timing is not your timing. Their path is not your path. Their assignment is not your assignment. You are not behind in my eyes. I am not nervous because someone else moved faster. I am not panicking because another person is visible before you. What I have for you does not become impossible because someone else is being noticed. The sky is not too small for your star to rise. Your future does not expire because another story is unfolding nearby. Stop using someone else's chapter as evidence against your own. You have also misunderstood your painful seasons. You called some of them failure, but many of them were training. You called some of them rejection, but many were protection. You called some of them abandonment, but I was isolating you from voices that would have poisoned your discernment. You called some of them confusion, but I was teaching you to seek me more deeply. You called some of them loss, but I was loosening your grip on things that could not go where I am taking you. If I had given you every door you begged for, some of those doors would have stolen your peace, polluted your motives, and distracted you from your assignment. If I had allowed every relationship to remain, some would have kept you emotionally loyal to the version of yourself I was trying to free. So do not curse the season that protected you simply because it hurt. Phrase. Don't ignore what he said. Spiritually, this means do not ignore the signs that your life is calling for a response. Do not ignore the internal conviction that says you can no longer remain passive. Do not ignore the ideas I planted in you. Do not ignore the gifts you buried under insecurity. Do not ignore the project you keep postponing, the discipline you keep resisting, the prayer life you keep neglecting, the healing you keep avoiding, the truth you keep pushing away because change feels costly. To ignore the message is to return to sleep after being shaken awake. To ignore the message is to let inspiration touch you for a moment and then crawl back into the same excuses that kept you trapped. To ignore the message is to hear that there is more in you and still choose the familiarity of fear. My child, there are words spoken over your life by pain that must be broken now. Pain told you that you are too damaged. Rejection told you that you are unwanted. Failure told you that you are incapable. Delay told you that you are forgotten. Betrayal told you that trusting again is dangerous. Disappointment told you not to expect much. But none of those voices are sovereign over you. They are experiences, not identities. They are wounds, not prophecies. They are chapters, not your name. Your pain may have touched you, but it does not define you. Your wounds may have shaped parts of your story, but they do not outrank my purpose. Stop introducing yourself to the future by the name of your suffering. Stop carrying old labels into new seasons. Stop rehearsing your limitations as though they are sacred truth. You are who I called you, not what fear called you. This is why I am summoning you now into alignment. Rise mentally by renewing your thoughts. Rise spiritually by returning to prayer, silence, scripture, worship, repentance, and truth. Rise emotionally by releasing bitterness, resentment, and the addiction to old pain. Rise physically by honoring your body and your discipline. Rise practically by organizing what chaos has scattered. Rise creatively by making room for what I placed inside you. Rise relationally by discerning who strengthens your calling and who weakens it. Rise completely This is not a season for partial obedience. This is not a season for 1 foot in faith and 1 foot in fear. This is not a season for pretending you do not hear me while asking for another sign. The stirring you feel is enough. The conviction you feel is enough. The interruption you feel is enough. Answer it. Do not say, "When I feel better, I will begin." Begin, and healing will meet you in motion. Do not say, "When I am less afraid, I will move." Move, and courage will grow in the act of obedience. Do not say, "When people support me, I will step out." Step out and let obedience be your first witness. Do not say, "When I have more certainty, I will trust." Trust is most real when certainty is absent. If you wait until everything becomes comfortable, you will remain chained to delay. Some of the greatest shifts in your life will happen when you act while trembling, pray while confused, continue while tired, and believe while no one around you fully understands what I am doing in you. And to the heart that still feels fragile, listen carefully. I am not angry with your weakness. I am not ashamed of your tears. I am not distant from your exhaustion. I know you are tired. I know you have carried heavy things. I know you have smiled through pain and kept functioning while inwardly crumbling. But tired does not mean finished. Wounded does not mean disqualified. Delayed does not mean denied. Hidden does not mean abandoned. Your humanity does not frighten me. Bring me your fear, your questions, your uncertainty, your weariness, your doubt, your grief. I would rather have your honest heart than your polished performance. Let me into the places you have tried to manage alone. My beloved child, your life is not a random collection of setbacks. There is meaning in your endurance. There is design in your detours. There is mercy in what did not work. There is purpose in what forced you to change. There is instruction in what broke your illusion of control. I am not scrambling to figure your life out. I am not confused by your timeline. I am not intimidated by your history. I know exactly how to take what you thought disqualified you and turn it into a doorway for impact. The world may only see the result one day, but I have seen the process all along. I know the unseen bravery it took for you to survive. I know the hidden battles it took for you to remain. I know the strength it took to keep praying when reality gave you no evidence. So this is your moment to stop shrinking. This is your moment to stop waiting for permission from people who did not create you. This is your moment to stop dismissing the fire in your bones. This is your moment to stop insulting your future by staying loyal to your fear. This is your moment to believe that I can do something with your life that exceeds your imagination, not because you are perfect, but because I am purposeful. Do not ignore what has been said to your spirit. Do not reduce this stirring to entertainment. Do not let a moment of awakening pass only to return to old mental chains. Turn this into action. Turn this into discipline. Turn this into renewed prayer. Turn this into movement. Turn this into obedience. Hear me one final time. I have not forgotten you. I know your name. I know your battle. I know the dream you almost buried. I know the version of you that still wants to believe. I know the calling beneath your fear. I know the greatness beneath your insecurity. I know the voice beneath your silence. And I am calling it forward now. Not tomorrow. Not when everything becomes easy. Now. Rise. Believe again. Prepare again. Pray again. Build again. Speak again. Trust again. The time for hiding is ending. The time for responding has come. Do not ignore what has been said, because beneath the noise of the world, I am telling you this. What I placed in you is real. Your assignment still stands, and your future is still alive.